The prisoner's dilemma is a well known scenario in game theory where individuals face a conflict between acting in their own self interest and cooperating for the greater good. It's a classic example of how trust and fear can shape decision making. Seen in economics, politics, and even personal relationships, the dilemma illustrates why cooperation is often the best option, even when it feels risky. The tit for tat strategy in game theory is simple but effective. It starts with cooperation and mirrors the opponent's actions, fostering trust but being ready to retaliate if necessary. This strategy has proven effective in everything from trade deals between nations to personal relationships, encouraging cooperation while maintaining fairness. The always defect strategy might seem appealing for short term gain, but it often leads to mutual losses. By consistently betraying the other player, it erodes trust and damages long term relationships. In business, this can result in short term profits, but long term isolation or retaliation. The always cooperate strategy is optimistic but risky. It assumes the other player will eventually reciprocate, but this leaves you vulnerable to exploitation. While this approach can encourage lasting cooperation, it's important to watch out for those who may take advantage of your goodwill. Grim Trigger is a no nonsense strategy that starts with cooperation, but if the other player defects even once, the game is over. Permanent retaliation. This approach encourages cooperation by making the cost of defection extremely high. But be careful, one mistake, and trust is broken for good. The Pavlov strategy adapts based on past results. If cooperation works, you continue cooperating. If it doesn't, you switch things up. It's a flexible, experimental approach, perfect for situations where you need to learn from outcomes and adjust accordingly. Tit-for-Tat is a forgiving version of tit-for-tat. It allows for occasional mistakes, offering a second chance before responding with retaliation. This strategy promotes long-term cooperation by being flexible and understanding that people make errors. The random strategy is chaotic. You never know whether to cooperate or defect, keeping opponents on their toes. But this unpredictability can hurt long-term relationships and make it difficult to form alliances. It's a gamble where inconsistency often leads to failure. Forgiveness is a crucial element in strategies that promote long-term cooperation. By allowing for mistakes, you restore trust and encourage future collaboration. This prevents endless cycles of retaliation and shows a willingness to maintain healthy partnerships. In politics, the prisoner's dilemma plays out in trade agreements, diplomacy, and sanctions. Diplomatic tit-for-tat is about retaliating when agreements are violated, but being open to cooperation when the situation improves. Meanwhile, grim trigger sanctions can result in long-term penalties for a single breach, making it a powerful tool in international relations. In warfare, strategies like tit-for-tat and grim trigger are often used for deterrence. The threat of retaliation, sometimes on a massive scale, helps prevent conflicts from escalating. This was evident during the Cold War, where both sides were aware that any aggression could lead to mutually assured destruction. In conclusion, there is no one-size-fits-all strategy in the prisoner's dilemma. The most successful strategies combine cooperation, like tit-for-tat, with flexibility, such as forgiveness. Whether in politics, business, or personal relationships, finding the right balance between trust and retaliation can lead to long-term success. Always remember, cooperation builds trust, but a willingness to retaliate ensures fairness.